Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague, like always, as someone who is not excommunicado, Noah Bailey.
Hope not.
So we both finally seen John Wick Chapter 4, and we're gonna start with by talking about that. So, basic thoughts go.
It was awesome.
It it it,
it was,
it was pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Pretty good. Pretty good.
it's one of those movies where I don't really have a lot to say. It essentially it hit all the beats you want out of a John Wick movie. It had Keanu
Yes.
Reeves doing really cool stunts,
Yep.
a lot of just very unique, different ways of fighting, different very unique set pieces, very interesting characters that he met along the way, and just it was just so, a lot of fun. Like if you like John Wick, you will like this movie. That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
It almost kind of felt like a video game, as in
Hmm.
they're just kind of characters that they're just different and they have wild stuff and it doesn't really make sense, but it's cool, it works, and you're gonna have to figure it out as we go along.
Yep. About halfway through this movie, I was screaming inside my head, like, someone make this a video game. Like, why?
Right?
Like, there's been a couple attempts at weird John Wick games, but they've never really been like what you want from a John Wick game. I don't know exactly what that game would look like, but I'm sure somebody could figure it out. Like the guys that make Hitman or whatever, like sure they
Yeah,
could
or
figure it out.
have you ever seen that game Sifu?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, kind of
yeah.
like a mix between that
Mm,
and Hitman, and yeah,
yeah, yeah. That
game is
get
crazy hard.
get on
I will say
it.
that. But yeah,
Yeah, I like. I only have kind of two criticisms of it. We'll just go ahead and say with the spoiler warning here. I feel like even though the action was very good, there were a couple of times when I felt like certain action set pieces lasted just a little too long. Specifically,
Mhm.
like the one in the in like the Japanese hotel,
Yeah, that was like 15 minutes of just fighting.
which was cool for like nine,
Yes.
10 of it, and then it just like I liked the nunchucks a lot, but he used those like longer than I feel he should have, and then like another wave of enemies came by,
Hmm.
and then the guy with then Kane came by, and then another it was just like I understand you want to start your movie with a big set piece, but I feel they got their point across like halfway through the scene. You can have a little more, climax the action, but then it went just a little too long. But it was all fun to watch, so it was fine. Um,
Yeah.
Same kind of thing with the stair sequence at the end. I loved.
Yeah.
I That was so creative. Like again, that just felt like something out of a video game where you have to like move up levels of enemies and like progressively harder. It felt so cool. Like almost like a roguelike type thing. Like really though, like a roguelike where like as he's going up, like he gets to the very top and he get knocked all the way back.
I was still, my theater was cracking up
Right?
when that
It's just
happened.
kept rolling.
Just He's just falling and falling and falling.
And then it's like, well, let's just try again, and goes back.
Yeah.
And again, like none of the action was bad. I just felt like by the end, it was also like towards the end of the movie, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm kind of drained right now. Like this movie was over 2.5 hours. Like I'm just,
That was that was a long movie. And again, 90% of the movie was action scenes. Like there was story there, but
yeah.
it was mostly action scenes. There was a lot.
Mm. And kind of the only other thing that it didn't it didn't like take me out of it just because like, we are 4 movies in. So this is just kind of what you would expect of this movie. But John Wick is invincible. Like this man. I know in previous movies he took a beating. He literally fell
Yes.
off of a roof after getting shot 3 times in the last movie. I get that. On top of everything else that happened in the movie, and he walked away fine. But like this thing got hit by so many cars, fell off so many roofs, like got
Yes.
lariated, just picked up and thrown like all over the place, and
Yeah.
he was fine.
It's bad. Well, that's kind of my thing. It was like, I mean, the man literally got knocked off a building and just kind of didn't even have like a bum ankle. It was kind of like, bro, like,
Right? Like I said, he was lariated and then like picked up and thrown off that balcony, and just like oh,
yeah,
and then got back up and then fought two guys and won. Like,
yeah. And I'm like, I get your like, I get it's your movie, but like, there's got to be some like, where's the line between like action movie and Fast and the Furious, like super
right? Like I
unrealistic,
know in the first movie that he like they described him as a man of sheer will and determination. So like
yes,
kind of the Sith factor, like being too angry to die. I get that, but he is just a human. Like he
yeah.
is just a man.
Yeah, and like, and it even like, and a lot of it didn't even feel like anger. He was kind of just like, it almost felt like he was just kind of like doing chores. It's like
Mm,
frustrated. It's like, we got to do this. It's kind of
yeah.
like like him getting knocked down the stairs felt like the equivalent of like the trash bag breaking, like when you're trying to dump the trash. It
Right.
wasn't even like I'm angry. It's like a
Like at the end of
this
the
day will
day, I'm just ready
never
to get
end.
this over with, and we just go back.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was kind of like, all right, come on, if you're gonna do something, you got to do it right. Yeah, yeah. And I
Mm,
was just like, dang, bro, you just going like,
yep.
again, awesome to see, but like,
I can't fall down one set of steps without breaking half my bones. Like he's just
yeah, like honestly,
like I know their suits are like super durable. Like
yeah, they're
like to
like
the point where like bullets
some
should like
kind of freak.
shatter off of them.
Yeah, which I mean, like, I get there's like Kevlar, but that's not how Kevlar
No.
works at all. You can't just pull up a sheet of Kevlar and just block machine gun fire
Mm.
from point blank range.
But-
But okay. But again, it's action movie. There were swords. Like it's fine.
yeah.
Like
Like yeah, the this movie definitely like took everything that John Wick has been and just escalated it to 11.
oh
And
yeah,
that's fine. It's the last movie you can do that. Cool.
exactly.
And boy, like I didn't think there could possibly be like a scene in a John Wick movie that I love more than like the first major action scene from the first movie with those guys invade his
Mm,
house. Like I love
yeah.
that scene. Like it perfectly introduces the character. Again, like it doesn't like it shows you how good he is, but it doesn't go overboard yet. But I
Mm.
really that's probably my favorite scene of the whole franchise. But man, that top down one shot
Dude,
scene was so
again.
cool.
Dude, okay, like video game, like looks like Metal Gear Solid
Uh-huh.
almost going through and like play, like it
Like
felt like such like
this
a
is a video
okay.
game. Like people someone needs to get on this right now.
Yes. Like, why aren't we funding this? Like, yes. Like, no, it's like this. It was so cool because, like, you see everything going on and you can kind of just see how he kind of makes his way through. He does his turn. Like, and it's just like,
Mhm.
yeah, like, how is like, not even just for this, but like for action movies in general, like, this shot needs to be used more. And I feel like this is going to be
Yes.
the first time we see this much more often
Yes.
in these
Like
kind of movies.
this whole franchise is just packed full of those like one like those like try to look like one shot like moving with John as he takes on like 50
Mm-hmm.
50 people. And this was so inspired. Like we've seen him take out a room multiple times, and this is just that from above, and it was just, oh, it's so good.
Right. And
And
it's like it's something you never knew you wanted until you got it and you're like, I needed this for so long.
right, like, and just another little detail for this entire franchise that I love so much is that most action movies you just see guys just shooting just thousands of bullets. No, they never reload. They never switch
Yeah.
guns. They're just shooting, even just like a little pistol to shoot just forever. This movie, this entire franchise makes it a point to show you every single time John Wick reloads. I love
Yes.
that so much because even during that scene, like after he takes out a guy, he takes his gun, like reloads, and then like
Yeah.
keeps going.
Yeah, and I like how they even say like, oh, this handgun specifically has 12 shots, and then after 12 shots, you see him
Yep.
grab a mag or whatever and go, and you're like,
The
wow, okay, he can count. Like,
second movie, it was like 7 million to 7 rounds, and he just wastes those seven as soon as he gets in the club, and then just switches the gun and just keep.
yeah.
I had seven
But
shots.
like
I
you
killed
get
seven
it.
people. What are you gonna do?
There you go. Like, yeah, I did what I did. Like, and that, no, and I love that those details. Like, you can tell they really, really want these shots to look good, and they
Mhm.
always do.
Yeah,
Like here, which is
yeah, and that's the kind of thing I kind of wish this movie did more often. Like I know you can't get that unique every single time, but that was one of those scenes where like the majority of that sequence was a one shot of either following him or following the tracker throughout that building.
mhm.
And like it got to a point where I was kind of feeling fatigued by this. We also had that car chase before, like we were just in a
Yeah, that's
lot
a
of
lot
action
going
all at
on.
once, and I was like, I'm kind of ready for this action set piece to be over. But then that happened, like I'm back in. Like you got
Yeah, you're right.
it.
Forget what I said. I don't know what I want.
Like
Back in. Honestly,
yeah.
no, and like I really like too. I know speaking of track, like the added characters felt great. Like
Hmm.
especially him, Tracker, and what was it, Kane, the blind
Yeah.
guy? Yeah, those two definitely felt great characters. Like I really liked how they kind of like didn't take away from the story, but they really added a lot. Because again, we didn't really know anything. There's just a guy with a gun and a dog, and it's like cool. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that feels like a video game character. Like
He's just really
that
good at
feels
what he
like who
does. Yeah.
player 2 or player 3 would be. Like,
Mm.
yeah.
It kind of felt like the game Deathloop. Yeah, it kind of
Yes.
felt like that, where like
Yes.
there's just this other person, this other character, just kind of like following you as you play. And
Mm-hmm.
like it wasn't not exactly the same since he wasn't really getting in John's way, but it kind of felt like that,
So
where
like building
he was
towards
always
their
with you.
confrontation.
Yeah, and and again, just this movie did such a good job. Like in every single movie so far, like people are either fully with John or fully against him. And this guy was like, I don't really know what's he really doing here? Because like, towards the beginning, he's like, I'm really just biding my time until I get that until I get the bid up on you. Like 23 million, not enough yet. And then it's like,
Which
we're in this together. It's like, dude, 23 million is a lot of money.
I know, but I kind of like that though, because like it kind like you said, it kind of does give that Deathloop vibe of like I can't kill you yet because I still need you,
Mm,
but like we're definitely still an enemy. Like, and I thought that
yeah,
was really cool because it kind of gave an excuse for like not a buddy movie, but like it kind of gave an excuse to kind of like have him around without him killing John, without making him not able to kill John.
right.
Like it didn't make him seem like he was incapable. He was just choosing not to for a good
Right, and
reason.
him and Kane kind of felt that same role for different reasons. Kane like being a
Mm-hmm.
legit friend who just doesn't want to, and Tracker just using him to get more money. And then
Yeah.
the end, I I love the parallels where he befriends John because he doesn't kill his dog, like or he
Yeah.
stops the guy from killing his dog. It was like that full circle moment was
Yeah.
very good. Like the only thing that would have made that better is if at some point during the movie the Mustang would have come back in, because like
Mm.
the very big deal that the beginning of John Wick 1 is the fact that they killed his dog and stole his car.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
and the second one he dropped off was John Leguizamo's character, who didn't show up in 3 or 4. It was like whatever, they weren't really in America that much, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But just I don't know, just I kind of wish we had seen him just drive it one more time before the end, but it's not a huge deal. But just like at least he did drive like a fancy car, so it's
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's just what so what do you like, how do you feel about him actually dying in the end?
I was okay with it in terms of knowing this is kind of the last ride. Because anytime you do a 4, you're like, okay, we're done here, unless you're
Yeah,
Toy Story. But
yeah,
But or apparently Indiana Jones, but again, whatever. But like it was kind of one of those things where it's like I was sad, but it was like, well, like yeah, I get it. You got shot point blank in like the kidney.
Mm,
So like with a dueling pistol. So like I kind of get it. Plus like John always seemed like a kind of character that revenge was kind of his only reason to be alive. You know what I mean? Like kind of like
right.
this whole like like you said earlier, you said he's too angry, too motivated to die. It's like, okay, well now, not only did he get this guy back, but he also, he's, released by the table. So it's kind of like you're kind of done. Cause I mean, like, I hate to say it, I mean, his wife's already dead. So it's not like you can like get her back,
I,
so it's kind of like you're kind of like that's kind of it. Like that was kind of his last mission.
yeah, like I guess not that I don't know, like a part of me like does agree like he finished his mission. Like he is, you know, he's done 4 movies of just these movies took place over like maybe
Like a
2.
week,
It was like a month max. There was like
right?
a bit of a break between John Wick 1 and 2, but it wasn't even that long. And then,
Like a
yeah,
little for
it was a couple of weeks maybe for
yeah,
between,
like no more than like not a month, not more than a
yeah,
month, definitely. Which
because
is wild.
yeah, 2 led right into 3, which led right into 4. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so yeah, he's been through it. Like I said, just hit by so many cars, shot so many times, punched everywhere, like just thrown, like just
So many
so
stairs.
many stairs. So in a way, I'm like, yeah, he deserves a break. If break is death, then sure. But also, like, I I know he got shot in the stomach, but like, is that enough? Like,
I mean, like it was relatively close. Like I know it's John Wick, and we just talked about him basically being immortal, but it's like, all right, if you survive that, like, and again, it was not like people were like rushing him to the hospital. Like
yeah.
they were just kind of looking at him like, dang, that's crazy, you know. But
Mm,
also, it was just kind of like, I'm not gonna say it felt right because I don't think it did, but I don't think it felt wrong either.
mm,
If that makes sense.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this character just as easily could have ended with just like essentially him living like vicariously, or his wife kind of living on vicariously through him living his best life
Mm,
with a new dog he adopts, and just
okay.
like essentially like the end of John Wick 1, if it just ended there, like that's kind of like where I because the movie ends with him just going back home with a new dog and just
Mm-hmm.
trying to live from there, but then he got roped back in and stuff happened. Like it easily could just go back around to I'm done. I can just go back home and just live in peace for a while.
Yeah.
But this movie did kind of have a motif of like, of like it there were multiple times throughout the movie where like he had conversation with people that like of like where does this end? Like is death the end? Like, just death came up a lot throughout, so I wasn't surprised it happened. But I don't like I guess I just kind of wished the moment was a little more final. I guess like I don't know. It just seemed a little underwhelming of him to like actually die to a point where like I don't know if he's actually dead.
Yeah, that's true. Especially with John Wick, someone who we've like questioned, hey, did he die? Nope, he's
Nope.
fine.
Mm,
So
no.
yeah, but I guess I know people, especially online, are not loving that he died. Maybe because they wanted John Wick 5, which I get it, but it's like
Mm,
it didn't feel out of like I wasn't watching it like what? Like it felt like okay,
yeah.
I can see that kind
Oh yeah. Like I am all for like spin-offs in this universe. I know we're getting one with Ana de Armas next year. They're throwing around ideas for Tracker to get one, that Japanese girl
that.
to get one. Like those,
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I can see that working.
Yep. Um, so yeah, like spin-offs in this universe with like either with the same director or with the director overseeing it. Um, because like these movies, they like the acting is good, the story is good, but they wouldn't be nearly as engrossing as they are if not for just the fantastic cinematography and choreography. So
Mhm.
if the director who make this, so I can never remember his name, if the director isn't involved in the spin-off projects, I don't think they even have a snowball's chance of being nearly as good. But regardless, just anything attached to the John Wick franchise, I think I'm not gonna like dismiss it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Speak. Okay,
Mhm.
I know we haven't really touched on it, but like, what did you think of the villain?
The villain, I liked Bill Skarsgård's character.
Hmm.
Um, I had a I wasn't really sure like what his deal was. Like I know
Yeah.
something about him like representing everything the high table was. Like they gave him like some power to be the judge during execution, or like why him? Who is he?
Yeah.
Like and then him like John killing him. Like because at the beginning of the movie, I thought John's whole mission was just kill everyone on the high table,
Right.
but just killing him represented that somehow. That was a little confusing.
Well, I think I guess my thing was like like they didn't really go into it a lot, but basically it was kind of he was kind of like the new guy on the high table more or less, and he like you know how the new guy tries to like make his mark.
Right.
His goal was like I'm gonna kill the boogeyman, you know, whatever. I'm gonna be the guy who killed John Wick, and that's gonna be my claim to fame, and then I'm gonna run this basically. Which
Mm.
like I feel like maybe they could have gone a little more into, maybe seen a scene with the table, kind of
Right.
discussing that. Maybe would have helped kind of flesh it out because he did kind of just seem like I'm bad because this movie needs a villain, like
Yeah.
you know, I miss Casino Royale, but I'm still here, kind of thing. But I
Uh-huh.
mean, like, and it just very like you know. But I think it worked in terms of he did seem like intimidating, not in terms of like how he looked, but what he was able to do and like how he controlled people. So I thought that was good. I think it could have been a little better, but
Mm.
I think I guess the thing that bothered me about it is that like he didn't actually do anything. And I think that bugged me more than it should have because like he didn't really fight anybody or do like he kind of just was the bad guy,
Hmm.
but he didn't actually like I don't know, it felt very like
I mean, it's similar to the villain from the second one, where it's just someone
yeah,
who doesn't like John, who wants him dead,
yeah,
and then he sends guys after John to kill him, and then at the end, John kills that guy. Like it's
yeah,
not the
I
same, but it's
get it.
a similar idea.
I don't know, like it just kind of feels very like he seemed like the kind of villain who you didn't think could fight and then would just like have absolute hands out
Right.
of nowhere.
Like the big weird purple guy in the middle. Yeah,
Yes,
like him.
yes. Who was kicking, and when a guy that big is kicking, that's
Oh,
terrifying. So
yeah.
it was like, oh god, that was a perfect roundhouse. Oh no,
uh,
that guy's too big to be throwing roundhouse blows. Like that was really good. Because again, it's like you know, I always like a big like, just like a hulking guy fight. I always thought
oh yeah.
that's a good like even like in the last movie where they got Boban to just like basically be giant human
Hmm.
basically like you know and I think that's so like you know and I just I kind of expected him to kind of like in the end like I don't know I expected him to either be like good like because I know he like mentioned knife fighting with like the duel so I thought that would have been like if that had been a knife fight instead and it been this like vicious like he's like crazy good with knives or
Mm,
something that would have been really cool out of nowhere
yeah.
but especially
'Cause-
with the knife thing he did with the tracker guy earlier too like
yeah.
that would have been a nice little like oh man this guy likes his knives kind of thing
Hmm.
but yeah I think that gave it a little but I think other characters were so interesting it wasn't that like I didn't need it that bad.
Right. I like Clancy Brown. He's always fun.
Yes, I just love like it was just like, it's funny because it's like, you know who it is, and you know it's Mr. Krabs being like Mr. Witch, but it's also like, you know, it works. Like, it's weird that it works, but it kind of does. Like, it's just kind of like,
Yeah, and
I don't know.
and like he wasn't. I wouldn't call him evil. He just at the time was aligned with this guy who is evil. But after
Yeah.
that guy died, he's like, yeah, you're free. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Like,
He was like, yeah. He was the most like, you know, chaotic neutral thing ever. He was just kind of like, or not even chaotic, just general neutral. It's just like, yeah. He's like, all right, cool, you win. Cool. This guy, yeah. You guys want to, you know,
your own thing.
he just pick up his corpse, and I'm just like, wow, that's so neutral. Just like, yeah, but that makes sense. Like, they're like, you know, like, obviously they're all assassins, but like, it's a legitimate business. Like, you know, we had an arrangement. This is what happened. Cool. Okay. Later, John. Like, whatever. But yeah, I thought that was, I thought he was a good addition. I also really liked, oh my gosh, I can never remember his name, but the hotel owner.
Winston.
I thought, yes, yeah, I thought he did a really good job. Just like, I liked how he was kind of like behind the scenes, but like actually orchestrated a lot to happen. Because he was the one who gave me that.
I do kind of wish there was a little more animosity between him and John, because the last time they saw each other, again, Winston shot him and he fell off a roof. Like, you don't just come back from that without John doing something to you. I don't know.
I mean, but it very much felt like I shot you, but like I wasn't trying to kill you. Shot you.
It's like I knew you would live, kind of thing, I guess.
Kind of like you know how in Arkham Knight, where like, you know, he has him shoot Batman, but like, you know, he's not really trying to kill Batman. He's just trying to, you know, prove a point so that the other bad guy doesn't get on, you know. So it's kind of like it felt very much like that. So to me, it went like, yes, he did shoot him off a building, but like, if John had just showed up and immediately gone berserk, I would have been like, wait, whoa, why are you so mad?
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that actor and everything he's in, but like this, I liked him quite a bit. Why does Donnie Yen keep playing blind people?
He's good at it.
He's good, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna stop him, but it's weird.
It was weird because even though it made no sense how he could do half the stuff he did, he played blind pretty well.
Yeah.
Like it was like little stuff. Like they would like hand him drinks and stuff. He'd like, you know,
or him like shoot, like them like shoot at each other, and like John lies still. It's like, you dead, John? Because you can't see him.
Like so casual. Like, it was just interesting because it was just kind of like, it felt, I don't want to say believable, but it's like, that's how a blind person in this universe would work. I think that did a good job.
And I love his characterization of the whole movie, because like, you know, his first big action scene, he was sitting there eating ramen. He's like, hey, do your job. And even though like the swarm of like Japanese assassins are running at them, who we're currently aligned with as the audience, he gets up, this awesome music starts playing, and he just goes ham on him. It's like, oh, I'm on his side now. It's like, it's like even like he technically is an antagonist. Like, I want to see this guy murk these people.
You're invested. You're like, oh, this guy looks awesome, and then he does awesome stuff, and it's like, dude. Like, you know, it's like, it's always entertaining to see people get wrecked in John Wick movie, but it's like, when you see it in different ways, it's like more entertaining. And the same way with Hunter, where he's like, oh yeah, I have combat dog combos. Like, you know, like, that's so cool. Dude, like, hey, what did he say? Like, what did he say? Like, nuts. The guy, yes, dude, that was so like, oh, just shoot me. Like, oh my god.
I also just love just the little detail of, in every single other scene like this in movies, where in this series, where like people are like loading up for the big fight, they like open a closet, and there's just a row of guns. They just, you know, montage of them. In the Japanese one, it's just like swords and bows and kunais, and just like no guns. They don't do guns there. Like, they don't.
And I thought it was so cool, because it's like, your Kevlar might stop a bullet, but like, if I shoot you with an arrow, I mean, I shoot you with an arrow. Like, I don't know. I don't.
They were effective. It worked.
Yeah, it's like, it's the equivalent of parry this, you filthy casual. Like, it's just
And that
like,
guy did though.
yeah, he did, which was weird. I was like, how does that like? It was weird to me because it was like, is that really like? I know obviously no physics are actually used in this movie, but
Yeah.
like that made no sense. But I like how some of the guys just like they're like through the neck. I was like, oh my gosh, and the swords too. I don't know. I thought that was awesome. Like, I'm just like, yeah, let's do this. Like, basically like Call of Duty meets Ghost of Tsushima thing. Like, let's go. But
right. Just like there's. I mean, because it is such a long movie, there's a lot to love about it.
so
It
much
does
action.
it does give you some points where like if you're not like fully invested, there might be a little like there wasn't much downtime, but like the downtime there was like if you haven't been invested, might
You
have
don't get it.
yeah. But if you've been following this franchise the entire time, and you want more John Wick, this is definitely more John Wick, and it is very good John
Absolutely.
Wick.
Yeah. And again, if you're just here for action, just wait 5 minutes. It's coming. Like, it's
Oh
not
yeah,
there. This movie's 90% just going. Like,
waste no
like,
time.
there has to be a record for like longest amount of actions. Like, that's because like literally it was just going from literally like I would say the first fight in the like the Japanese hotel.
Mm,
It's like that's like 20 minutes of just going
yeah,
at least, and then they kind of disperse, and then we get to where is it, Paris,
hmm
and then we're just going again, and then we go like it's just like a lot at a time. So
because
like I like it a lot, but then
yeah, because during the scene where they're like discussing terms for the fight at the
mm-hmm.
end, which I didn't really understand that scene. Like Bill's character said something, and then John countered, but like John's demands were honored, and then
Oh,
like hmm?
it was kind of like a high card draw kind of thing. Like they all have cards on the table, and then it was like, all right, location. They both pick up a card, and whoever gets the higher numbers, their choice is honored. So it was kind of like that. You might need to see it again, but it
Okay,
was
okay,
yeah.
because they said the thing before flipping the card, so
Right.
I don't
Because like
yeah.
they didn't want their choice influence of knowing they won or not.
Okay, so they
Yeah.
already knew what they were. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, 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 yeah. You might want to just check it again. It was pretty yeah, it was one
Okay,
of those.
got
My
it.
brother asked the same question. I was like, oh no, it's like
Okay, that
hours.
makes sense. But
Yeah.
anyway, I like after like a little bit after that scene when John was meeting up with Lawrence Fishburne's character, I love him.
Perfect.
like like I checked my
Makes no sense
phone.
he's alive.
No,
But
not at all. He got cut seven times.
yeah, like very vicious cuts, but
And then
like he's
fell
fine.
over, presumed dead, but then didn't. Anyway,
Love it.
he like I checked my phone. I was like, "There's almost an hour left of movie." It's like I thought we were almost at the end, and yet
Nope.
there was an hour of action
That's
left.
what I'm saying. Like it wasn't like a slow hour. It was an hour
Yeah,
of going.
like there was a solid like 4 minutes of watching people like stock up to go kill John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, just I love that scene in every single Wick movie where it's like every single able-bodied and sometimes not even person on this planet, go get him.
Yep. Go get him. I was like, oh, John Wick now at 40 million. And they have that
Mm,
weird, like, I don't know how,
uh,
what communication thing, whatever, which is so never really gets explained, but it's still really cool what it is. It's like a half radio station, half like espionage, who knows?
mm.
But it's awesome. And like, yeah, there's people just show up. I like how literally just like he's crossing the street and just people just like, hey, what's up? Like pull up on him. I was like, wow. Like imagine just like going for a stroll and you just see this insanity happening. You're just
Uh,
like, nope.
and I
Nope.
love just how almost everyone in this entire world is just desensitized to it because every
Yeah.
time there's a big crowd or like a club scene or even just driving around, like people just don't react. It just
Yeah.
happens.
Well, no, it's like the club scene with the
Mhm.
big dude, and they're just like, everyone's just dancing, and he's literally like throwing axes. And it's just
uh,
like, and I'm like, how was no one free on the road? I was like, well, they could all be on drugs, and I was like,
yeah.
that's probably a good point. Like they probably don't even realize what's going on. So, but it was just so funny how long it took anyone to react. So I'm like, this man literally kicked a man like off a bridge,
Hmm.
and no one's even saying a word. He threw an axe casually, very deadly, but like, and like no one died, like no civilian dies. Like
No.
that's the crazy part. Like everyone's that good at their job, apparently.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just a very good movie and a very good franchise. It's I'm waffling between it being my second or third favorite, although none of them are bad at all. Like as of right now, I probably would say three, four, two, one. But like again, that's none of them are bad, so it's not like it really matters. But one is probably always going to be my favorite. Two or four
Yeah,
is interchangeable. Then three is an easy last, but it's not bad
yeah,
for
I
me.
don't think three's bad, but it's like, yeah, I don't. This one might be my favorite. I don't
Mm.
know. Like, I really like the first one too, but like, I think I like the first ones for different reasons. I like the fourth one, so I guess that's kind of because like the first one, there, kind of like Deadpool. It feels like because it was the first time I had seen
Mm.
something like it, it has extra points.
Yeah,
Versus John Wick 4, I knew exactly what I was getting and was not disappointed at all. But
right.
still, it's like is it that like but it's still very good. Like I
Mm.
was very
Yeah,
entertained.
like part of the reason why three's at the bottom is like because I am more or less expecting what I'm getting. Like it has more opportunities to go off the rails, and it does a little bit. Like it's not so bad, but like it just there's some things here and there. I'm like, I think that it didn't jump the shark, but like there are some things where it's like they didn't need to do that. I haven't watched it in a while, so like I can't remember exactly what happened, but like
Mm,
remember there were times when like I didn't agree with stuff specifically, but it was still a lot of fun. I didn't really mind. But then four is just even though it is crazy, it's all feels more like back in what I was expecting from one and two, from
yeah,
two. Because one is a lot more grounded than the rest, which is fair. You know, they didn't have the budget yet, but also like they just
it kind of
didn't.
stays in one place.
Yeah,
It doesn't get crazy. I don't know. Like it's not like there's a lot of goons, but it doesn't feel as big, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. But yeah, when you're constant hopping and having all the different set pieces and just it's
Right.
yeah, just it's a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and it's doing very well with audiences, doing pretty well at the box office. So yeah, like I don't think they should make a fifth one. If they do decide to like either do a prequel or say that John didn't actually die or whatever and actually have a good story to tell, fine, whatever. But like I'm more or less satisfied right now with how it ended. So
Yeah, no, I am too. I do think if they did make another one, it would have to be a prequel because I don't want it to be about a different character, really.
right.
But
Because just the
yeah,
idea of that villain from the first one, like giving John an impossible task to get out, and him just doing it, I gave him an impossible
yes.
task. It's like I didn't think the bodies he buried that day, like laid the foundation. What we're doing now, it's like, well, okay.
Like, wait, like, yeah, I think that would be really good. I think you could, set some things up for future things, set up for how he has certain relationships that are
Mm,
established now, and like, yeah, I think that would be really good,
yeah.
honestly. But that might be a couple years down the road. But because
Mm.
this one's doing so well, I think they would definitely consider it.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna fast track spin-offs for sure. Um, like, did you stage to the after credit scene?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling she's gonna have. There's gonna be some thing going on with her in some other movie or whatever. But
I ain't gonna lie. There have been very few after credit scenes that have made me upset. That one was kind of like,
really,
wow. Like, I get it from her perspective,
hmm
but after everything we went through, I was like, dude, that sucks.
I mean, the exact same thing happened with John in John Wick 2. Like he got out and then someone brought him back in. You know.
I know, but like, it just, oh
He
God,
killed her
like,
dad. Gotta do
yeah,
something.
like, and he totally did. But again, like, again, I'm not saying he did, but like, you could argue the dad forced his hand because
Yeah.
like he definitely gave him multiple chances. Like, bro,
It just doesn't.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
he's
Like,
too
stand
honorable or
down. Like,
whatever. Yeah.
because even before he fought, he was like, bro, let's not. And then literally was like, I'm saving you here. This is your chance. Like, please.
Hmm.
And literally, like, I feel like, yes, he killed him, but like, I would not feel like that was all on him personally. I feel like that's also
Right.
your dad just doing his duty, how he feels, which I get, respectful, super honorable, but like, to be like, nope, now I gotta kill him. I'm like, oh, that feels a little. Especially you knew he didn't want to. Like, that's kind of my thing. If he was kind of like smug about it, that's one thing. But he
Hmm.
was like, that's my buddy, but I gotta do what I gotta do. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little rough, but eh.
But yeah, we may or may not see what happens with that in the future. But I wouldn't mind seeing a spinoff with either of those characters. So
No, definitely not.
yeah, if you've seen, it's a movie I can't recommend if you haven't seen the other movies. I don't
No.
think you would get it. I don't think you would like.
Unless you just like action, like you don't care and you just want to see
Right.
bodies fall, then yes.
Yeah. But
But yeah, you need to honestly, like, you could probably just watch like summary YouTube videos and go into it if you
yeah.
really wanted to. Because again, the story's not really complicated.
Mm,
It's just there's a lot of details over the course of a couple movies, but really all you need to know is Secret Assassin Association, the high tables, the big dogs, they don't like John. John doesn't like them. They manipulate the organization after John, and then they fight. Like, that's pretty much it. Like,
yeah.
that's kind of all you need to know. Like, there are other intricacies, but like, that's the main thing.
Mm. All right. So moving on, we got just a bunch of trailers over the past
We
couple of
did
days,
so
and
many.
we're gonna start with the Across the Spider-Verse trailer.
As we
However,
should.
I have actually not watched it because
Whoa.
I, I'm just going into because Sony does this stupid thing where
They do.
every single time the
They do.
second trailer for Thing comes out, they show the whole movie.
They
I'm not
kind
gonna
of
risk it.
did.
I'm not
Like,
gonna risk
yeah.
it.
You're kind of right. Like, I was literally thinking that as I was like, I didn't need to know that. I did not. I really didn't need to know that go again. I was already going to see. And I'm not going to lie.
Mm.
You're right. They did show way more than they should have. And I don't really want to discuss it now because I feel like you don't want to
Right.
hear it.
Like I've seen a couple of
But
clips. I've seen like a couple of things here and there, but I'm not like I haven't actually watched the trailer. So
yeah,
just Sony, stop it. Why do you always do this?
they do that. But like, again, there was no way to not make me watch this.
Right.
But at the same time, everything I saw, I was like, this looks great. So it's not bad. And
Oh
yes,
yeah.
I have more information that I probably would need, but like, again, it's
Like,
not like I wasn't gonna
yeah,
watch
like
this.
from what I've seen from Spider-Punk, from what I've seen from Mayday, which was adorable, Oscar Isaac as whatever, Spider-Man 2099
There it
still
is.
looks great. Again, just the various different art styles they're going for looks just fantastic. Yeah, like there's nothing you could do to make me not watch this movie, although I'm not
That's
watching that
fine.
trailer.
That's fair. That's fair. It will show you things you didn't need to know,
Mm,
or like you don't need to know before watching the movie. It was a lot of stuff that would have probably been better left just revealed. But
mm.
again, to be fair to some, no, never mind. No, it's just they overdid it, but it's okay.
It's fine.
Like, I have the hope that there's so much more that it doesn't matter.
Mm,
Although history would not support that belief. But
yeah,
again, this movie's going to be elite, so it
like
doesn't
like the
matter.
fact that No Way Home didn't spoil anything. It's a miracle, and I think
Yeah.
like I wouldn't be surprised if, like Marvel themselves like kind of stepped in and is like, we need to we need to airbrush them out of this trailer because the Homecoming trailer showed the whole movie. All the Venom trailers showed the whole
Yes.
movies. I I haven't seen Morbius, but I feel like I've seen Morbius just from watching the trailers.
Yeah, you basically did. Like, it's not. Yeah.
So, but a trailer I actually did watch and really enjoyed was the Blue Beetle trailer.
Man.
It looked kind of rad. I'm gonna admit, yeah, it
First of
looks pretty
all,
cool.
that suit looked perfect.
Yes, yes.
Like, that was better than anything I could have. Like, that was great.
Hmm. Yes, like there's obviously going to be the Iron Man comparisons.
Yeah,
That's going
but
to happen, whatever. But it looks very good.
yes, like extremely impressive. The animation looks really good. The trailer looked. I mean, there were some good jokes. Not they weren't all funny, but some were definitely funnier than
Mm,
others.
yeah, like this is a movie that I'm not gonna say I don't know why it's getting made. I just don't know why who thought it should get made right now. But like
Yes.
if it is a good movie and like if there is passion, there seems to be passion behind it from all the people involved. Like you know, it looks to be at least you know pretty fun. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I hope. Yeah. I mean, again, it is in this weird DC like purgatory right now because we're kind of in limbo with DC anyway. Because like we're kind of just waiting till James Gunn stuff gets started, and like everything else is
yeah,
kind of Snydery is kind of being let go. So it's kind of like any DC thing right now is kind of just you know we might put a good word in for you, but like no promises.
yeah.
So
This
like
movie will take place. Will come out after the Flash. So
yeah,
like I assume some kind of big universe reset will happen in that movie. So this movie could exist in the DC in like the future DCU stuff. I don't know,
no idea.
but as a movie, I think it has value as a movie. It doesn't
Well,
have to be connected to something bigger. Just as a movie, I think it could be good.
well, that's the thing. I feel like it's gonna get the Shazam treatment of like people are gonna be like it's not connected to anything, so why do I watch it? And like and again I see the argument, but it's also like are we gonna start doing that for every comic book movie ever now?
Like Into the Spider Verse wasn't directly connected to any other Spider Man or Marvel thing. Yet
Yes.
we still watched it. We still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's
You
insanely
know,
good.
like the Batman wasn't connected to anything else, and
That's also
it's
true. But
fantastic.
again, that's Spider-Man and Batman. This is Blue
Blue
Beetle,
Beetle. Yeah,
which you and I know,
yeah.
but
I've seen,
most of the people don't know who that is. Like,
yeah. Like
it's like,
if I hadn't, either seen Young Justice or Batman Brave and the Bold growing up, I probably
yeah,
wouldn't even come close to knowing.
exactly.
I wouldn't know the name Ted
Exactly.
Cord at all if I hadn't seen Brave and the Bold.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But like,
again,
but
and
now I know
we're
he's the
nerds.
second Blue Beetle, I think, or he's the one before this Jaime Reyes. Yeah,
Yes. Is
yeah.
he? I think he's the first. See, this is what I mean.
I think
Like,
there's been at least three different ones. I don't,
I have.
but regardless, he's not the one that's actually like the main character of the movie.
Yes.
Although there
Yes.
was a
No, he's not.
reference to, like, there was like a statue of him in like the like office place he went into. Um, so or maybe it was on the big bug ship. That might have been it.
Mm.
But but yeah, like could be fun. you know.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. It
Yeah.
looks awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of movies that just look like a lot of fun, Barbie is going to be fantastic. I don't even know what to tell you. Like it's I know it's a meme on the internet to be like target audience is like 6-year-olds, but real audience and like the Sopranos people. But like really though, it looks fun.
I mean, like again, when this was announced, I was like, really? But then you think about it, you're like, okay, if they Lego movie it, it's gonna be awesome.
Hmm.
And well,
Will
I
Ferrell's in it.
mean, yeah. So it's like, yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know this is stupid, but it's gonna be hilarious.
Hmm.
Like, like they're doing like this is how you make a movie like this. You kind of just lean into, yep, we're making a movie about it. I know you didn't ask, but guess what? You're getting anyway. Like,
Uh,
and I think that's the way to go about it. 'Cause I feel like that's the same kind of thing that work. I think that works for like concept because it's kind of the same thing with the Mario movie. Like,
mm,
we didn't ask for this, but it's like, yeah, we're gonna if you do it right, it works. Like it's like, and even Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, you could argue that was kind of like why, but
yeah.
like, I mean, but now everyone, it's a good like again, it's one of those concepts that if you take it not seriously, but seriously enough in the right way,
Mm,
it can really work out. And I think that's kind of what they're doing with these, and I really like that. And
right.
it feels like even though they're not original things, like obviously Barbie's been out forever, but like
Mm,
it's an original-ish thing they're doing still.
right. Like, yeah, like with the Lego movie, was it like it would have been so easy to make a movie like that, just a big advertisement, just a big cash grab, like a low effort, just
Mm-hmm.
just thing to get the name out there. But that movie has some of the most heart of any movie I've ever watched. And like I don't
Yes,
know if Barbie will have that same energy, but it at least
it
looks like
might.
there's there's effort there. That's not just Barbie. Like, there's those direct to DVD CG trash Barbie movies that come out
Yes,
every other
doesn't
month.
feel like that.
Yeah. Like this is something special.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like like one of those unfortunate Disney sequels. It feels like we're really do. If we're gonna do
Uh,
this, we're gonna do this.
right. Um,
I
yeah,
love it. I'm
coming
so
up
for it.
in July, which I think I I've had in my head that this and Oppenheimer, which is the new Christopher Nolan movie, those are coming out on the same day, which I think is hilarious. I've had in my head that those are coming out on June 21st. I was like, the June is going to be stacked, but no, it's July, which is good,
Okay,
very good.
let me make
Because
sure. Is that right on my calendar? I also had it on June 21st. I feel like they changed it and just hope nobody
because
noticed. Because I also had that June 21st on my like list of things coming out this year.
Flash, yeah, because that would be a Wednesday. Movies don't usually come out on Wednesday. Huh.
True.
I don't know, but
I think it's either a Mandela effect or they definitely advertised it wrong. Because I feel like the odds that we're both wrong about the exact same
right.
date is very.
Or it could, I mean, for the record, it could be at some point during the podcast, you or I said June, you wrote down June, and then I had in my head
That is
June.
also a
It's
strong possibility.
just brain fart just got the J months wrong.
That is definitely possible because, especially, yeah, during June and July, it's super. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's super easy to mix those up, but still, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
yeah, but regardless, July is a good month to have that movie because
Yes, definitely a
skip
sun
June. I
movie.
think some of the movies that come out in June should delay a couple of weeks just to get out of the way. Because currently Flash and I think Indiana Jones are coming out on the same day, a week
Ooh,
before Transformers and a week after something else. Like it is the Spider-Verse earlier that month. Like there's a lot happening that month that
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Summer's gonna be wild.
Mm,
I'm so for it though. Also, April is a lot. There's a lot happening. Just like from here to the end of summer, it's just wild, and
yeah,
I'm
and Blue
loving
Beetle's
it.
August, so you know.
Yeah, like that's another thing, because August already had oh gosh, Ninja Turtles. So
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, which that's gonna probably be huge. So like
Mm,
that's kind of like, yeah, like I'm for it. Like please,
mm,
by all means, man.
yeah.
There's I'm
Oh,
super
June 21st is that's when Secret
Secret Invasion.
Invasion happens.
That's what that is. Okay. Because I was
Okay.
thinking, I was like, oh yeah, that's also in June now. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
dude, June's gonna be so busy.
Mm, and a new trailer for Secret Invasion came out. Like
Mm-hmm.
it has like a very like spy thriller energy to it
Yes.
that feels is missing from even Falcon Winter Soldier show kind of fumbled that a little bit. With this show
Yeah.
this show I think is gonna like hopefully is going to capture that Captain America Winter Soldier energy that this
I hope
universe has
so.
been lacking recently.
Yeah. When I was watching this trailer, and in my head, I'm like, this feels like two like two phases too late.
Eh,
Maybe not two, but like at least one. Like this
eh,
feels like this could have been the thing right after Endgame kind of thing. Instead, just to kind of reset the world a little bit.
I could see that.
But
Yeah.
but again,
Uh,
not bad how they paced it, but it was just kind of like, man, this
yeah.
feel like I don't know, especially like show wise,
Mm.
we feel like we've been going like very like small but big at the same time because it's like small time but big powers. And I know Skrulls have a
Yes.
lot they can do, but like, between Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, I'm totally missing a couple, but like, just like
She-Hulk, Falcon Winter
yes,
Soldier.
She-Hulk, like yeah, like a lot of powers in there, and like, oh, I'm this, I can do that, and here, and again, not that like not, but that feels the vibe feels very different lately,
Yes.
and I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. It just kind of feels like it's like if you played 3 pop songs and then you're just like, all right, hard rap, go, and you're just like, oh, all right, like,
Yeah. It's also
like I don't
interesting.
hate the vibe, but dang,
Yeah, it is also interesting that these past two phases have been kind of simultaneously building like three separate branches of MCU stuff where you have like multiverse stuff, street level stuff, and it's like space stuff. Like,
yeah.
like
Like it feels very disjointed
and like
and like
not
no connections whatsoever.
like it'll obviously all converge, I guess, into
Like, will
Kang
it though?
Dynasty and Secret Wars and whatnot, but like how the Celestials, they're out there doing whatever with the Eternals. Like that's not really gonna connect. Like
Yeah.
the stuff with Nick Fury with the Secret Invasion, that's more so like essentially being continuing off of the after credit scene of Far From Home, which was 4 years ago at this point, and
Yeah.
like kind of referencing with Monica, but
Yeah, like
like will anything with Captain Marvel be involved? Like will that be, because
well,
Captain
that
Marvel's
was
coming
kind
out
of
now
my
after, so I don't know if that'll be.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of my thing. I'm like, I don't even know if that's really connected other than probably a throwaway line because like,
Hmm.
because again, like we haven't actually seen Captain Marvel outside of 1 second at the end of Miss Marvel since Endgame happened, or I guess the end of Shang-Chi, which I kind of forgot
Yes.
also happened. Because
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, that feels like forever ago, and that wasn't really that long ago.
Uh.
So it's kind of like what we felt like we've been literally everywhere except where the plot is, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I'm not like I think there is like Kevin Feige. I trust his vision. I think he has like an end, lack of a better word, an end game in mind. But I think, and I don't mind him experimenting or even just doing stuff at like on the way to get there. But I don't know. I feel like street level heroes is should be like a phase one thing that you then build together and then expand the universe. But we're just now getting to more of that as what, and like just now getting to more space stuff when he already did a Thanos. And I feel like I don't know. Like I feel if you're doing space stuff, you got to build to Galactus, but that might not be until 7 years after Secret Wars. So I don't know.
right, which is like, yeah, and that's kind of what I mean. Where I feel like it feels out of place. 'Cause it's like if this had been like right after Thanos stuff, you could kind of lump it together with like alien invasion and then go multiverse problems.
Mm,
But here it kind of feels like we said, okay, multiverse, JK, regular stuff, JK again.
hmm.
Like we're kind of like it feels very like the movies are connected, and now we're just kind of like here, 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 and like 2 or 3 movies touch, but the most of it's just kind of alphabet soup, and we're like, is there a plan here, or are we just trying to make movies? Like, which again, I get
Uh,
it, but it's like like it feels like Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and like kind of Ant-Man and Loki are connected. But like
Yeah.
other than that, there's been a lot going on and none of it has touched anything. Because literally since, like WandaVision like barely counts towards Doctor Strange. Because honestly, you could argue they kind of took what happened and kind of didn't apply it to the movie anyway. But so it's like and then all the other movies and shows are kind of just in their own little bubbles. Like they don't really connect to any of the other movies or shows that have come out, but they don't really connect to anything else either. So you're kind of just hoping, okay, there's a is there just gonna be one giant movie everything just like collects in? Like, sure, but like it kind of worked in Infinity War because it was like everyone kind of had the same goal. They just didn't know they had the same goal.
Right.
Versus here, there are no goals. We're kind of just here. And
I mean,
I don't know.
they could do a thing where like once the Kang dynasty begins, like there will be a Kang out in the out in space. There'll be a Kang on Earth. There'll be Kang just everywhere, and different groups will fight different Kangs. I guess I don't know.
Like I get that. Like I think that could definitely work, especially how they started with Ant-Man. They could do a thing where it's like, okay, now like somehow the Guardians will end up with a Kang somehow, even though it's not really set up to do that. But like, sure, why not just throw that in? He doesn't have to be the main focus, but just kind of throw him in there, and then okay, they can fight. And it's like, yeah, but like, is that a stretch? Like, can you really just throw him in every movie and be like, oh, this guy's a problem, even though he wasn't the main threat? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
We gotta let him cook. I don't know. We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
But a lot has been going on.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure it out. But
better figure out Kang first.
Yeah.
Let's just say one of his variants is doing some damage.
We'll see how that turns out. I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's.
I didn't want to touch that.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's relevant, but I hope everything works out the way it should. However that may be.
Yes.
Go with that.
We're a fan of the right outcome, whatever it may be.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's everything I want to discuss today. Is there anything else you want to bring up right now?
I think I feel like there's one trailer we didn't mention.
Trailer.
But I can't think of what it is. Talked about Barbie. We talked about. I feel like maybe not. Maybe I'm totally forgetting. Maybe it's nothing, and I just think it's something because I want to talk.
3 seconds after I hit stop recording, I'll remember it, so it's fine.
Yeah, probably, but it's okay. We can always talk about it next
time. So yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care.